You man, it's your boy Lil Happy Final back with another reaction video, man. Today, man, we got Redick owning Stephen A for 17 minutes, man. Hey, as you can tell, your boy is back in solitary confinement. Your boy back in jail, man. Give me the 2K subs and I'll get bailed out instantly. But I ain't gonna do too much talking, man. Like, comment, subscribe if you new. Follow me on IG, Twitter, let's get to the video.
You just said that Jimmy Butler was a perimeter shooter, and I love Jimmy Butler to death. I really do. He's one of my favorite players in the league, one of my favorite teammates I've ever had, but I think that's the first time I've ever heard someone describe Jimmy Butler as a perimeter shooter.
I think he can shoot perimeter shots. Hold on, wait a minute. Jimmy Butler's, all his points don't come from finishing at the basket. We've seen him hit plenty of perimeter shots. He can do that.
What is he can do that? What is percentages?
Well, I'm just saying a jump shot. You trying to tell me Giannis is the same quality of jump shooter as a Jimmy Butler? You saying Jimmy Butler's that bad?
I'd have to look up Jimmy's numbers from the mid-range, I would, but Giannis shot over 42% from the mid-range this year, which is well above league average.
Oh my God!
And Jimmy shot the 20s and the threes from three for the last.
First of all, Jimmy Butler missed some time during the season. Let's take that into consideration. A lot of times.
What did he say? Hold on, wait, what?
Time during this. My God!
And Jimmy shot the 20s and the threes from three for the last.
First of all, Jimmy Butler missed some time during the season. Let's take that into consideration. A lot of times.
What did he say?
Jimmy Butler missed some time during the season. Let's take that into consideration. A lot of times.
What does it have to do with the shooting percentages? Jimmy Butler basically decided to not shoot threes. He's knocking down threes somewhere in the 30s during the playoffs.
His numbers. I'm not dismissing his.
One thing I can respect though about Redick and these other NBA players besides Kendrick Perkins, they do it from a player perspective. Skip Bayless, Stephen A, these other like non-athletic people that have never played sports or that wasn't good at sports, trying to tell an NBA player what's right and what's wrong. You tell an NBA player that has played in the league what's right and what's wrong. But this is the same person that has been in the league, been in the huddles, played with these people, know their tendencies. And you gonna tell them what's right and what's wrong? Come on now.
Well, first of all, JJ frowns at all this stuff like he's scared somebody. He's scared no damn body. I appreciate the suit.
I'm not trying to scare you, Stephen. I'm trying to debate you. I'm trying to point out how erroneous you are sometimes.
I don't think I'm erroneous. Well, first of all, it's very rare that I'm erroneous. So let's keep that in mind, because you wouldn't waste your time sitting across from somebody who's erroneous that much. So we know better than that. So that's a lie. Number one. Number two, let's take into account the fact that because Giannis is coming downhill, a lot of times he gets wide open shots because people are literally daring him to shoot because they don't want him coming to the basket because they know how unstoppable he is close to the basket. If there's anybody, I challenge you, since you're so big on analytics and you so bringing up the numbers, how many open perimeter shots does Giannis get simply because people are praying he takes those shots and they'll take those chances? They don't even contest them 90% of the time. He's shooting a jump shot because they're so petrified of him getting to the basket. That's an eye test thing. Numbers don't tell every story. Not every story.
I'm talking about mid-range pull-ups, mid-range turnarounds in the post. I'm not talking about three-point dare shots.
You talking about that with Giannis too?
I'm trying to think of a time in the playoffs when I didn't see a contested mid-range shot from Giannis. I disagree with you. By the way, go back to the numbers for you by the second hour. Don't worry. By the second hour, I'll have
you'll bring me all the numbers. You'll bring me all the numbers, and I won't give a damn about the numbers because I actually watch the games too. You understand? I watch the games. I didn't say you don't. I just said you're talking to somebody who does watch the games every night.
Tony?
But a lot of times when we think about MJ, for example, and obviously he's the one person that draws those comparisons, what ultimately comes up short is the level of fear that was instilled in you. You didn't mess with MJ. You didn't come at MJ like that. You didn't do stuff like that. People, and I'm not talking about Isaiah Stewart, I'm just talking about period in terms of opponents and how they come at you. You believe that you wondered what you was going to do about this. With LeBron, you believe you can take him. You believe he can be had, whether it's because of the teammates around him, the system he's playing in, the people that, whatever skill set you bring to the table, et cetera, et cetera. You just view him differently. And throughout the years in covering the league, those are all the things that I've consistently heard. I'm talking fear factor.
Before JJ Redick go in on this man, bro, they make it seem like this man MJ was just untouchable, godly, heaven on earth, bro. This man was getting beat up, punched, kicked, fouled, bro. What the Pistons was doing to this man, bro, they could have got thrown in jail for that, bro. Come on, now. They trying to make it seem like they ain't never tried MJ in his life. Come on, now. Everybody gets tried, bro. Everybody.
Fear factor.
Get him, JJ. Get him.
Not something that has ever been associated with him.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Go ahead.
There's a lot to unpack there.
That's why you're here.
First of all, two of the guys you brought up in that conversation.
Yes.
Kobe.
Yeah.
Got two-pieced by Chris Childs.
Yes, Chris Childs.
Michael Jordan got the hell beat out of him for years by the Detroit Pistons.
I just said,
challenged him physically. To say that,
bro, I wasn't even alive to watch that, and I know this. That's crazy.
LeBron, who's won 4 championships, multiple league MVPs, made the finals 8 straight years.
Right.
To say he's not feared by players,
Not feared.
I don't know whether to believe that you believe what you're saying.
I do believe
that's crazy.
Well, it's not crazy. It's not.
That's crazy.
It's not crazy, and you know better. You know better.
When has there been a situation? If you're talking physical confrontation,
No, I'm not. Listen.
physical confrontation.
Listen. Whoa.
If that's what you're referring to, nobody's ever challenged LeBron like that. Why would they?
Nobody could challenge him. I forgot who it was, the center that played for the Chicago Bulls when he shoved LeBron to the ground, pushed him to the floor when he was in Miami. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying to you is this. If you watch the game, which you do,
I played the game, but I played the game,
I know.
Stephen A. And I played against LeBron in the playoffs.
Okay.
And I played against LeBron. I played against LeBron for 15 years.
You fear what he can do. Listen, you fear what he can do to you on the basketball court because nobody could ever question the greatness of LeBron James. But what I am trying to say to you is that you look at him, there's certain things with MJ in the era that he was in. I've spoken to Isaiah, I've spoken to Dr. J, I've spoken to Kareem, I've spoken to Magic, I've spoken to other folks. There's a culture that existed in the 80s, into the 90s, into the 2000s, or what have you. When you look at LeBron and you compare him to some of the preeminent superstars that have played this game, when it comes to fear, that's one of the differences.
Do you mean because LeBron's more accessible, like in terms of personality, where MJ wasn't like one of the buddy guys?
That could have a lot to do with it. What I'm saying is, we're talking about the greatest player who ever played the game, which I believe to be Michael Jordan. And a lot of times, when you delineate the difference between the two, whether it's Michael Jordan or it's LeBron James, they're talking about a fear factor.
Dog, even if he was more accessible, bro, who has challenged LeBron like that they want to fight him, physically fight him, other than Stewart? Stewart is a crash out. This man trying to fight everybody. He just tried to fight Curry the other day. You trying to fight Stephen Curry? Bruh. Bro, besides being buddy, who has physically tried to put their paws up at this man? Come on now. Let's be real. I didn't see Kobe get pieced up. Rest in peace, Mamba, the GOAT. But, come on now. I've never seen LeBron get punched on, bro. Be honest.
There's just certain things you knew that you wasn't going to do to MJ. You could come to MJ.
He literally got beat up,
but the
bro.
things that people have done, the way that they've talked about LeBron James, the way that they've come behind him in the media, behind his back and stuff like that. You hear stuff 30 years later about MJ. A lot of times you didn't hear that kind of stuff going on because there was a level of respect and fear that LeBron, I shouldn't say respect, because LeBron has always been respected. But yes.
Stephen A.
Yes.
Hold on a second. LeBron has grown up in a completely different world that existed in the 80s and 90s. There was no first take in the 90s. Could you imagine in the New York Knicks series, LeBron or MJ going to Atlantic City the day before the game and coming home at 2 a.m.? Social media, this show, that's all you would talk about for days.
No.
For days.
No.
Yes, it would be.
No, not in this show. Not in this show. Because as far as I'm concerned, listen, let me tell you what I said back then. Because I'm glad you brought that up. Michael Jordan went out and gambled, right? And Michael Jordan, hypothetically, I guess it was in the millions or whatever he might have lost. My response was, you have any idea how much money Michael Jordan was? Leave here. Mind your business.
But what does that have to do with
no? I'm just bringing you up Atlantic City. I'm saying the point that I'm trying to make.
The reason people talk about LeBron though is because he lives in a 24/7 news.
They would have talked about anybody, and it would have been just as bad, if not worse, for MJ, no doubt about it. But I'm talking to you about respect and fear. There's no question. We ain't talking about respect for LeBron.
And I'm disagreeing with you completely.
And so you're saying,
there's no credence to Stephen A's argument.
So you're saying that the people like that, the fear that Michael Jordan instilled in people, that's what LeBron did?
Yes.
Okay.
In a different way. I mean,
okay.
You're comparing two different things.
But
I guess he's trying to compare that they're not scared of LeBron physically, like fighting wise. But JJ Redick is trying to say they're scared of LeBron play style wise. Like they're going to make adjustments. They're going to send 3 people at him. That's what he means. Stephen A. trying to think of just fighting wise, man. Nobody really challenged LeBron fighting wise other than this person. You feel me? But he just too stuck in his ways, man.
Say that his peers don't fear him. Opposing coaches don't fear him. Do you think people want to go into a playoff series against LeBron?
No.
No, I'm not talking about basketball. I'm not talking about basketball. On the court, I'm acknowledging his greatness. What I'm saying,
that's what I mean.
The way people talk about him, the way they look to attack him, and I'm talking about contemporaries in the National Basketball Association. I'm not talking about his performance on the court. That's not what I'm saying. By the way,
who's attacking LeBron?
Who's attacking LeBron? I'm talking about over the years, people that have come at him. Come on, JJ. I gotta go to my archives to look this up.
And how did that turn out for him?
Find me a player, more than one. Find me a player who's attacked LeBron. To answer your question, Luka. I think the answer is Luka here. Then that's not to say don't trust Steph in the clutch. The reality is he's 10 for 51 this season in the.
Before they get into this debate, I'm gonna say Luka too. I'm gonna say Luka. Luka more clutch. I ain't saying Steph is not clutch. Steph, he's clutch at times, but Luka has proven himself to take the last shot.
Clutch from 3-pointer. Luka has more game winners for his career. Pat Beverly knows this better than anyone. He's got a game winner in the playoffs, a little step back 3. I think it's Luka. I think the size matters. The ability to make passes if he gets double teamed because of that size matters.
Yeah, that's not
I'd rather have Luka.
Bro, Luka's still young, brother.
It's a very small sample size. It's only been what we talked about earlier, 4 years. So it kind of be hard to kind of give him a crown of that after 4 years. All the work that Steph's put in, all the work that he's changed the game. Literally changed the game. I got to go with Steph Curry. Easy, cool. Easy.
Last shot though.
Stephen A.
I agree with Patrick, with Bev right here. No. Let me explain something. I've always been a fan of JJ Redick because I always loved his ability to shoot the ball, particularly on the move, and I just love that about him. And I consider JJ Redick to be one of the great shooters that we've seen in NBA lore, to be quite honest with you. There's a few up there with you, obviously, but I've always considered that, and I've told you that years ago, long before you ever came on TV. I consider Steph Curry to be the greatest shooter God has ever created.
Ever.
And a lot of times
okay.
People talk, and they talk about him like he's somebody because he never captured a finals MVP or something like,
he got that now.
He ain't getting it done. I will remind everybody, not just about the 3 championships, not just about the 5 trips to the NBA finals.
I'm taking Steph is the better shooter, but I'm still taking Luka with the last shot.
I would remind everybody that Steph Curry is a career 26-6-5 player in the postseason, shooting 45% from the field and 39.8% from 3-point range. That's the career postseason number of Steph Curry. This brother is the greatest shooter God ever created. He can shoot from anywhere. The corner, the wing, the key, 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet,
okay.
50 feet.
He's not lying.
He can shoot with his eyes closed or wide open.
He's not lying.
He can shoot from away, standing still. This brother is the greatest shooter ever.
He's not lying.
Ever. And then, by the way, the free throw line, You're talking about a dude that's a 90% free throw shooter. We look at Luka. Luka's pressure. Luka's big time. JJ.
Game on the line, though.
Big time. Nobody's taking anything away. And obviously, as his career continues to ascend, we'll see his postseason prowess just continue to evolve and elevate. No shade on Luka whatsoever. I was watching y'all on Get Up an hour ago. And what's the thing you said, JJ? I mean, you're complimenting somebody, but in the world we live in, that means you throwing shade on somebody else. You're absolutely right. It's utterly ridiculous. I'm glad you were willing to call your contemporaries out with all of this sensitivity training that they evidently need, because you can't compliment somebody without somebody else taking it as an insult. We're not throwing any shade on Luka Doncic whatsoever. I'm simply elevating Steph Curry. And I'm telling you right now, when I talk, you got to remember something. Luka hit clutch shots. But over the course of a series, what's his percentage going to be shooting from the field? What's it going to be from the free throw line? I think we both know Steph Curry is a more reliable dude than he is in that regard overall, and that's why.
That's not the question, though. They be coming up with everything but the question, bro. Yes, over the course of the game, I'm taking Steph Curry. Steph Curry gonna have the better numbers, better shooting percentage, all that. Game on the line, when you need that big shot, I'm taking Luka, man. Come on.
Well, I'm going with Steph.
Surprised that the Celtics came back in the series?
Not at all. I thought they were the better team, and this series really showed two things. Number one, Milwaukee needed Chris Middleton. Their half-court offense was terrible in this series, and they were going against the best defense, not only in the regular season, but in the playoffs. 80 points per 100 possessions in the half-court. So much was on Giannis' shoulder in this series, and they couldn't get anyone to have offensive output at an efficient level. Drew Holiday did not have a good series. This was all on Giannis' shoulder. They needed Middleton. The second thing is Milwaukee's defense. I don't understand the strategy of allowing Grant Williams, a 41% shooter in the regular season, a 41% shooter from three in the playoffs, to have 17 standstill looks. I'm not including the 18th one because it was a bad catch and he threw it up at the end of the shot clock. 17 line you up, practice shots, 9 feet away, average distance closest defender when he caught the ball. That is ridiculous.
I understand why.
Why?
Because they were still trying to recover from what Jason Tatum did to them in Game 6.
They didn't even close out.
I'm saying that's what the hell happened. You had Budenholzer so petrified that Jason Tatum get going that he sat up there in game plan and said, "Listen, make sure he don't shoot. Damn it, we'll work out everything else. Let's make sure let anybody shoot but him." And then he's scared the living hell out of them because of what he did in Game 6 in Milwaukee, and they were punch drunk from it, and they didn't recover. We've seen it a lot.
They even put 2 on the ball with Petrie. If you see some of the highlights, they literally put 2 on the ball with the guy Petrie. If I'm a coach,
Pritchard.
How you say his name? Pritchard. I don't care.
They got Pat Bev on there, man. Pat Bev on there.
They put the 2 on the ball with him.
I always say, man, if I was to compare myself to an NBA player, I'm being Patrick Beverly, man. Patrick Beverly. I'm that pest on defense, man. I'm gonna get on your nerves, bro. I'm gonna do everything in your power to throw you off your game, bro. I image my basketball game on Patrick Beverly. I'm telling you. Everybody be trying to be Curry, everybody trying to be LeBron, everybody trying to be MJ. All these players know I'm Pat Bev, man. I'm my role player. I'm a role player, man.
Like, come on, man. What type of defense can sustain that throughout the whole game?
No question.
But this was their defense all year. They're going to give up a ton of three-pointers. I get your point about the overreaction, but Bud has never overreacted in the playoffs. He said, this is how we're going to guard, and we're going to guard this way. We're going to do our system over and over again. Right. And we're going to rely on Wes Matthews and Drew Holiday to make it tough on games. Okay. And they had some success in this series. Okay. Game 5, they had success. Game 1, they had success.
Well, there's a couple of things.
So I don't buy the overreaction. This is just how they guard.
You say you don't have to buy it.
I don't buy it.
Damn it. That's what I'm doing. Number 1. Number 2, they did shoot 4-33 from three-point range. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget the fact that Grayson Allen had no business on the court. He was a disaster in this series. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget the fact that Bobby Portis didn't have a good game yesterday either.
Who's the first person you named?
No, Grayson Allen was still.
Who?
Let me finish.
Man, stop. Why are you naming these people in your shows? They get okay in our locker room in the NBA.
No, I was pointing out that
Grayson Allen nice though, man. Chill.
didn't produce. Giannis, but wait a minute. Giannis kept kicking the ball to him. The fact of the matter, they had no choice because Middleton was there.
Chill, Grayson Allen nice, man.
Can I mention him? You gonna tell me not to mention him?
He had to take all his energy and guard.
I understand that. I'm not faulting him. I'm just saying what happened. The point is, I'm just naming a multitude of players who had I'm just anybody that the Greek Freak was kicking the ball to, who were wide open and missing shots.
I got a question for you. If you're the Milwaukee Bucks,
if I'm
last summer, coming off a championship, would you be willing to give PJ Tucker 2 years, $15 million?
Yes, I would.
Like the Miami Heat did?
Without question.
This series, to me, speaks to them not bringing him back because they had to play big. They had to play big. They didn't have him on the floor. They don't have any wing depth because Middleton's out. Drew's exhausted. They've got Lopez guarding shooters on the perimeter. Them not bringing PJ Tucker back was going to bite them at some point. Absolutely, and it bit them in the series.
So when you say them, so that's because sometimes y'all like to say words that sometimes our viewers don't understand.
The front office, the team.
There we go. Let's just say. Okay, so if the front office would have did their job, basically what you're saying, and brung the defensive player and PJ Tucker back, they would have had a chance.
It would have helped.
Okay, well,
it would have helped. I'm not saying he would have solved their half-court issues, but some of this sort of lack of versatility defensively, wing depth, having to have Drew Holiday take on a bigger role on offense and having to guard Tatum or Brown, plus having Lopez Portis on the floor at the same time. Like, you can go small with PJ Tucker. Grant Williams maybe doesn't get those threes in a game 7. That's all I'm saying.
I appreciate the breakdown. We all know they should have never let go.
Yeah.
PJ Tucker. We said that when they did.
Pay him.
When they paid the man.
Pay him.
We said it automatically.
Pay
it was
him.
a stupid decision, especially when you just won the chip.
Pay him.
You just won the chip. And part of it was, listen, regardless of the numbers KD put up, for example, you saw how PJ Tucker was going against, how much he made him work. You can't minimize that. You don't let go of somebody like that.
I ain't gonna lie. I could watch this all day, bro. This is all I really watch, though. I just watch First Take, Undisputed, the old Undisputed, Skip Bayless. I like watching this. I want to be a sports analyst one day, but like I said, man, hey, I could watch players give their takes, more relatable takes, because they actually know what they're talking about. They've been there before. They've been in these players' shoes before, so, they're more relatable when it comes to these topics, other than the fact that these analysts that just go from how they feel or from what they saw. I mean, but hey, man, like I said, JJ Redick, Coach of the Year, Lakers play tonight, I think. And comment, subscribe if you're new, comment down some videos down below, and we go.